Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the show. It's Friday, farting around. No, it's not. It's Fresh Gear Friday. Always run with scissors. That was the fourth, maybe fifth battery with the BetaFPV Air 75. Big thank you to them for sending it over. And I'm shocked. It flies great. I'm a little bit worried about the durability, which we're going to talk about in a little bit here. But it does fly great. The thing that is going to happen if you get yourself one is the video antenna is going to pop off. It is going to rip right off. And when that happens, it's potentially going to take the UFL with it. So if you buy an Air 75 or an Air 65, before you fly it, you need to E6000 the antenna down. And what you really want to do is get some E6000 on the side of the UFL so that the UFL has a better chance of not popping off. It seems like all of these new boards that are lighter weight, the UFLs and the IPEXs are popping off all over the place. And a lot of times that if they take the traces with them, that board is done. So the first thing that you want to do is put a big old blob of E6000 here. You want it to touch the board, and then you want it to go up onto the antenna itself. It's both going to hold the antenna on, but you also want to try to hold the UFL down. What is really nice is that they being BetaFPV, they are cutting the camera mount here so that it's not all over the UFL. So that's going to help a lot, but I've still ripped these UFLs off, even having done this exact same mod. So yeah, at the very least, before you fly this thing, put a big old blob of E6000 just right up here. You want it to be on top of the UFL here, and then you want it to ooze down here between the motherboard and the UFL itself. So just take the nozzle of the E6000 and just put a big old glob of it right here. to both hold the UFL to the motherboard, but also to hold the antenna connector down to the UFL itself. Yeah, super important. First thing you do, don't fly it without doing that. You will either lose the antenna, which is just kind of silly, or you'll lose the entire UFL off the board. And that could, if it takes the traces with it, that is sort of unrepairable. In the chat, I can't tell who was first because YouTube is doing their normal chat doesn't work all that well thing. There it is. Crom was first. Frank Nicholas was next. BAD, Cloudhopper, Troy Prelog, Feigning Goat, Cheatonian, Douglas 6, Raging Leet, Chuck P, Bad Neurone, Uriel, Bob Bruce, Frosty, Alex Wellman, Douglas 6, Balaz, I'm not going to, Hidasi, I guess that would be. Kinetic, Northern Tier, Chaser, FPV, Monkey D, Cluffy. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming. Welcome to hell. The other thing that happened is that I broke the frame. I'm going to play all the flight footage from it, so you're going to get to see all of the crashes. I pounded this thing. I flew one battery on this out in front of the house, and then I flew the next 3 to 5. We're going to see them. At that jungle gym, and I was no holds barred. I was just, that's sort of the way that I fly, to be really honest. Like, if something's gonna break, fine, I'll find an alternative that's more durable, and I'll keep doing that until I find a setup that is durable that I can fly as hard as I want. This Air75 frame, I love that it's a gram lighter than the Mobula 7 V4 frame. But it does not see... I'm not going to say that it's not durable, because I've actually had an okay time with it in terms of durability. I use this frame on the Walk Snail 75mm rig. Admittedly, I don't crash that thing super, super, super hard because it's got Walk Snail on board, which is kind of expensive. This was maybe the first time I really laid into one of these frames and just flew with total reckless abandon. And I think it broke on the last battery. So it did survive 4 or 5 batteries of pretty serious abuse. Again, I'm going to play all the flight footage in a little bit here. But I have broken this frame. BetaFPV did send a couple of extra frames with it, which was very cool, but taking this thing out of this frame is a pain in the ass, right? It's 3, 6, 9, 12 screws here on the motors. You got to pull the props off because the motors with the props on won't fit through these holes in the frame, I don't think. You got to pull these off, pull the AIO out. It's not a big deal, but it's, 15, 20 minutes of work. If a frame breaks here, there is a really cool little solution that, like, in the field will get you through the rest of the day of flying. But from what I've heard, this will survive a lot longer than that. And I'm going to show it to you. We've talked about it before, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So, because it's super slick. This is like the coolest little repair that I think I've ever seen. So you're going to cut a little piece of shrimp wrap roughly this long. And you want to make sure that you use shrimp wrap that's just barely bigger than the outside of the duct here. And basically what you're going to do is slide this on there and then put this in. This shrink wrap might be a little bit too big. The hardest part of this is not getting this so hot that you melt the frame. And so error in favor of not putting enough heat into this, because if you get the frame too hot, it is absolutely going to melt. I mean, the frame is kind of screwed anyway, so on one hand, like, who cares? But just keep the heat source far away and just gently heat it up. If you have a heat gun, this is a perfect time to use it. This is a great time to use a heat gun because they barely get hot enough to screw up the plastic. If you don't have a heat gun, do like I'm doing. Just keep the heat source far away. You could use a little torch to do this as well. Just be super careful. Take your time. Keep the heat source as far away as you can, and you want to heat up all sides of the shrink wrap, front, back, left, and right, and it's just gonna pull right down on that frame, and hopefully, if you pick the right size heat wrap, shrink wrap rather, heat wrap, what? If you pick the right size shrink wrap, it's going to fix the frame. And you can kind of, I think I picked shrink wrap that's a little bit too big. Yeah, I did. Yeah, so this shrink wrap has shrunken all the way up, and it's not, you want it to grab onto the frame. That's the size shrink wrap that I use for the Mobula 7 frames. They are taller, as you can see here. Significantly taller on like the duct area there. So yeah, the same size shrink wrap will not work for, that might be why the Mobula 7 V4 frames don't break there. So I'm gonna go down one size on shrink wrap here. Let's see, this is one size down. Yeah, this is the right size for the Air 75 frame. So cut yourself a nice piece. It doesn't have to be too long. And I could have used clear. Oh well. And let's try that one more time. Slide it onto one side. Close it up. Get it as centered as you possibly can. And you also want to kind of just give a little bit of pressure here on the outside of the frame to make sure that the two pieces of the frame sort of stay together. And yeah, this is going much better already. All right, cool. All right, so that's heating the bottom. Get the top a little bit hot. Get the back hot. And then let's get the inside as well. And again, as long as you keep that heat source a little bit farther away, you'll be good to go. And there you go. You got a little Band-Aid on your frame. And I didn't get it quite centered. Oh, Christ. I didn't get it centered quite enough there. When the shrink wrap is still hot, it's not as sort of stiff. So you just saw, I tried to move the shrink wrap, and the frame kind of pushed into itself. There we go. I was able to just move it down. As this shrink wrap cools off, it will become a little bit more firm. And it also kind of grabs onto the plastic to make sure that the plastic doesn't pop out. This does an awesome job as sort of a quick Band-Aid. So I'm going to leave this, and I'm going to keep flying this and see what happens. I want to see how long this lasts. I only recently started doing this. Usually I'll just swap the frame out. But yeah, this is awesome. This is such a great little fix. CMYK told me about that a while ago. And I didn't have to use it because I wasn't breaking frames for a little bit. But yeah, there you go. So, BetaFPV Air 75. 802 23,000 kV motors. Yep, 802 23,000 kV motors. Really good amount of power. I think it also has to do with the all-up weight. This thing should be lighter than the Mobula 7 V4s that I'm used to. Sorry, Mobula 7 1Ss with motor swaps that I'm used to. Let's take a look. Dry weight on this thing. Wow, yeah, that's really light. 21.4 grams. Okay, so that makes sense. I was really blown away at how good the power to weight ratio was on only 23,000 kV motors. That makes total sense. It's just a light 75 millimeter rig. So 21.4 grams right out of the box versus the 2G4 Jungle Gym Basher is 23.2 grams. the actual Mobula 7 1S with the motor swap, which is the X12 AIO, 24.4 grams. So 24.4 grams versus 21.4. That's a big deal. That is a massive difference in weight. I think, though, there's also I know that there's a difference in durability. I have pounded on Mobula 7 1S ELRSs, and eventually I can get the frame to die, but man, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of abuse. I'm talking like 50 to 100 batteries to get that frame to die. So this Air75 frame being a gram lighter, go figure. You sacrifice a little bit of durability. The camera mount seems okay. The thing that I don't like about this G-string style camera mount, as I call it, is that it doesn't really help with the frame like flexing in this direction. And the racers have been having problems with the AIOs like tacoing basically, and pretty much breaking in half. So I will probably always be a huge, I will always go with the old school Mobula 6 style canopy, because it's so substantial and it really helps to stiffen up the frame itself. But time will tell with this. I'm just going to keep flying and pounding on this, and we'll see how far it goes. The frame is already broken. We'll see how long this little bandage sort of holds up. I think I may have already started to see some vibrations, some jello in the flight footage. We can test that real quick. If you want to test how healthy your motors or your props are, it's super simple. Turn your transmitter on and throw a battery on your quad. You don't even have to put it in the bay. You can just hang the battery down. Just get it plugged in. And what you want to do is hold this thing. You can only really do this on low power rigs. You want to hold this. Get it connected, flip into turtle mode. Once you're in turtle mode, arm it, and you're going to spin each motor up individually inside of turtle mode. Let me give it a second. There it goes. There we go. All right. So you're going to hold it because you need to feel the vibrations. You're also going to listen. All right. So hold the thing and you just go very gentle in the corners with your right thumbstick because you only want to spin up one motor at a time and you want to keep it spinning slow. At full throttle like that, you can't feel any of the vibrations. You got to spin it slowly. And just spin it up and down a little bit. And feel for how much vibration that motor has. That was motor 1. Now, we're going to do them back to back. Motor 1, motor 2, motor 3, motor 4. And what you're trying to feel for is there a motor or two motors that are vibrating harder than the others? After you've done this a couple of hundred times, you'll just sort of know how much vibration is too much. But for the first couple of times you do it, you're relying on each motor. In this case, motor 2 is actually really smooth. Motor 1 is starting to get banged up. Motor 4 is starting to get banged up. It could just be the propellers. I'm going to do it again. You just kind of go around the board. But the key is to keep the RPMs down low. Motor 4 is hurting already. Yeah, motor 4 is why there's a good amount of jello. Not jello, vibes in the flight footage. Yeah, motor 4 is on its way out. So, could be the propeller. Probably not. I just have so much experience with these 1mm motor shaft motors, and I can kind of tell. But yeah, probably the motor shaft. But what we would then do, since we've realized that motor 1 is vibrating harder and motor 4 is vibrating the hardest, the first thing you do is change the propellers, and then you do it again. Then you do that test again and see if that has cleaned it up a little bit. If it has cleaned it up, awesome. It was the propellers. If it hasn't cleaned up, then you know it's the motor shaft. And that's really like, you can do that on pretty much every rig. 1S are the only rigs that you can do it with the props on. Everything more powerful than 1S, you want to take the propellers off, and you can do that same test, and all you're going to be testing at that point is the motors. Throw a fresh set of props on it, and away you go. But yeah, that is a super easy, super slick way to test the health of your props and your motors, and you can do it in the field. You can do it while you're walking back from retrieving the damn thing when you got it stuck. Yada yada yada. So yeah, there you go. There's a super, super, super handy trick. 1mm motor shaft motors are not going to withstand much of this sort of abuse that you're about to see. I'm just going to dive right into it and start playing this this flight footage for you. Something that this... Hey, here's the Air75 out in front of the house. That's the first thing I'm going to play for you. You guys have seen me fly out in front of the house a ton, so this will... There goes the computer just taking a huge shit on itself. Can you work, please? Oh, man. Well, I'm just going to let this go. There's not much I can do. Okay. Yo, these squirrels were super cool. Apparently the squirrels are fans of the Air75, which is interesting. They were like not freaked out by it. I guess it's just that kind of quiet. Look at them. Look at them just hanging out in the street, you little bastards. Get out of the street. You're going to get run over. What you're hearing in the background is the audio from the HD0 goggles, for the record. You're not going crazy. You're not going any more crazy than you normally are. So yeah, here's me flying in the front yard to give you guys that watch me fly in the front yard a lot, a little bit of an idea as to what to expect. It felt great. I mean, I gotta be careful because this is a brand new rig on brand new motors. So like everything is fresh. All of the other stuff that I fly is like really beaten in, let's say, by now. And so just by the fact that this is an absolutely fresh rig, it is going to fly a little bit better. But I was still, I'm really impressed by how good this thing flies. Like I said earlier, durability is going to be the major question mark for me on this rig. The frame, the motors, I have a feeling that the frame is going to break. And I have a feeling that the motors are going to bend the shafts up. I've already started to bend the shafts up on these motors, but both of those things can be replaced. You could certainly move this thing into a Mobula 7 V4 frame, and then you could swap over to Tiny Whoop motors, or now Weebleed motors that have 1.5mm motor shafts. Weebleed now has the vegan 802, vegan-sponsored 802 25,000s. And Newbie Drone has a bunch of 802s with 1.5mm motor shafts. I would keep this on 802s. This rig is very lightweight. 802 motors are a really good match for this. I would not put this onto 1002s or 1102s or any of that kind of stuff. Those motors are going to be a little bit too heavy for this thing, I think. The tune that it comes with is really good. I think I'm on my tune, but I put my tune on profile 2, and I kind of started to dial it in ever so slightly. But the tune that it comes with is great. If you buy this thing, fly it. Don't start screwing around with it. Plug a battery in, bind, fly the damn thing. Don't start screwing around with the tune. It really doesn't need it. The out-of-the-box tune is great. Leave it alone. Just fly it. Doing the trench run. Getting hit by a stick on the trench run. Yeah, I mean, you guys have seen me fly around here a bunch. I'm pushing it into prop wash as much as I can there to give you an idea. Although, we're about to see. I'm about to go into the profile. Okay, so this is their tune. That was their tune, and now this is my tune. Great. Perfect. So you'll see just a little bit less prop wash on my tune here. It's also a little bit sort of smoother. I do a bunch of things to get some stick smoothing since my fingers are not made of gold like some of these FPV pilots. And so, yeah, I use the software to provide a little bit of smoothing to make the footage look better. Here I am realizing that it can probably take a little bit more degain to help fight the prop wash. That little change there actually did make a noticeable difference. Still a little bit of a judder there, but felt even better. I could probably keep going. I could probably move that degain slider all the way up to 2.0 and chase it with the P&I slider up to 1.7. It was not feeling like it was getting into the place where it was overtuned. But again, this was the very first battery. This is before I started crashing it really hard. Where this thing is at right now, after 4 or 5 really hard batteries at that jungle gym, I don't know if I could continue pushing the tune up anymore. The motors 1 and 4 are starting to vibrate pretty good on this thing already. Again, that's more just 1mm motor shaft life. Builds that are over 20 grams dry, especially a build that then hauls around a big fat 450 mAh 1S battery, that's an awful lot to ask of a 1mm motor shaft. That was also, oh my god, here's the other thing that I realized. These blue and white BetaFPV batteries that I've been flying for a while now, they are trashed. I didn't realize how bad they'd gotten. This is now, that first battery was a orange and black BetaFPV lava battery that was pretty fresh. Mega difference. This is going to be a mix. When the runtime is really short and when you see a lot of battery sag, that's the blue and white old school BetaFPV batteries. I thought that they were folded cell. They might actually not be. I'm pretty sure the lava batteries are folded cell, but yeah, the blue and white BetaFPV batteries are now like gone. And yeah, this flying here is going to be a mix. But yeah, the high KV Mobula 7 rigs are going to fly significantly better now that I've retired those blue and white BetaFPV batteries. They flew okay for a while, but I've had them for a long time. They're just old, or, I mean, they're definitely old, but they might also not be folded cell. They might be rolled cell batteries. I'm not sure, and the battery people don't really give you much info. So yeah, here you go. This is the absolute abuse fest that I put this Air75 through. So this is the amount of abuse that it takes to break one of these frames. It's not a cold day out. This is not the plastic was super brittle from the temperature outside. It's like 80 degrees out. So technically, if it was 100 degrees out, sure, the frame might have done a little bit better. It might have been a little bit softer. But like, yeah, I look, when stuff gets lighter weight, it becomes more fragile. That's just sort of the way it is. And this, the one of the main reasons that this thing flies so good is because it's so lightweight. And there is a frame out there that you can swap this to that seems to be more durable, which is the Mobula 7 V4. But I'm super interested to see how long this little shrink wrap fix holds up. Because if the frame is going to break on the outside here, and then we can just keep putting little pieces of shrink wrap on it, like, that's easy, you know? That's the easy game. So we'll see. Oh, nope. Let me just listen for 1 second.
Right, another blue and white battery.
Another blue. All right, so that was a blue and white. This is another blue and white in the Air75. Awesome.
BetaFPV Air 75.
Blah, 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 blah. Let me turn it down. So yeah, this is me kind of getting used to it. This is now on my tune. It's been on my rates the whole time. It flies pretty similar to all of my 75mm builds, which is a good thing. You know, that means like it's dialed in. It is kind of insane. See, so that happened a couple of, I mean, you'll get to see every time that happens. I don't love that. I don't love that happening. A lot of times that happens when the AIO is kind of on its way out. This being a brand new AIO, it's probably not on its way out, but yeah, I don't know. I don't love when stuff like that happens. In the past, that is meant a scary thing is about to happen, but hey, it's tough. This rig has a bunch of up tilt. You see there's no duct in view on the bottom right of the screen. There's just a tiny little bit, but there's almost no duct in view. That's partially because the camera mount puts the camera up kind of high. It's also because it pushes the camera forward, but this thing does have a decent amount of up tilt. I think it has the right amount of up tilt for a 75mm rig that you're probably going to be flying outside. So yeah, no complaints on the up tilt. I usually run my up tilt. I usually run a little bit less up tilt than this, but it didn't take me very long to get used to this. You'll see. Why did that just turn off? What the hell was that about? What? Why did WebKit... What the hell, dude? How long... Oh, my God. Hold on. Hold on. I hope that just happened. You guys will get to see the flight times at the end of each one of these files. All right, let's see if EOS webcam utility wants to function. Nope. All right, let's unplug and replug the camera. That typically works. Or not. Frozen for a good bit before it shut off. I tested this for a half an hour before the live stream and it was completely fine. This is what drives me insane, is that this software worked an hour ago and now it doesn't. Like, why? Like, why is this okay? Why is it okay for one of the biggest camera manufacturers on earth to have software that they force you to use that is this awful? Like, how is that okay? All right. Hopefully it lasts a little bit longer before shitting the bed this time. Here we go. Keep in mind, when you see short run times, these are old ass batteries. That very first battery that I flew, was a lava. I think the next battery that I fly is a lava, and then I think I fly one more. Runtime is fine. Runtime is going to depend completely upon how hard you fly it and where you're flying it. If you're covering lots of ground, it's going to eat the battery. If you're using a lot of full throttle, it's going to eat the battery. The runtime on this is no worse than anything else, though. So the runtime is completely fine. You can get 3 minutes pretty easily. Yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with the runtime on this rig. The Air75, the runtimes are a little bit low on it. But yeah, the Air75 seems to be really good. I don't know, the Air65 runtimes are okay. Some people complain about them. I didn't think they were that bad, but yeah, this thing's completely fine. This battery is at 3 minutes already, and this is one of the old beat-up blue and white batteries, so yeah, runtime is fine. Oh, bro. Oh my God. Yeah, that is just delicious right there. That is like the quickest little, I don't even know if I guess that's sort of a Matty flip. This is a really cool area over here too. 3 minutes and 15 now. This is, I probably should not have thrown this blue and white battery away, but I don't care. They can all go to hell. 3 minutes and 30 seconds, ripping pretty good. But I mean, there was a bunch of flying in there where I was like kind of backed off and chill. But yeah, runtime is totally fine on this rig.
All right, no damage yet.
Hold on.
Ducts are not getting bent up. No like crease marks or anything like that. All's right with the world so far.
So at this point, nothing's broken.
Air 75.
As I pick the throttle up here, we'll start to see if the vibrations have sort of begun. No, it looks fine. It's easier for me to see it since YouTube crushes the quality of live streams. But I can see that it's not bad. All right, so this is me now going back to BetaFPV's tune. All right, so that was all on my tune. This is now the tune that it ships with. And as you'll see, it's completely fine. It flies great with the tune that it comes with. Don't screw around with the tune. There is very little need. If you know what you're doing with tuning, you're going to mess with the tune anyway. If you're not totally comfortable with tuning, don't do anything. Just leave it alone. It's fine. Tune that it comes with is great. That was ugly flying. Oh, wow. I think that went through. That's what she said. Let me just let this play, and I'm going to start to get caught up on chat. Hey, if you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. If you want to support me, because this is a totally crowd-funded thing that I've got going on here. I don't take money from manufacturers or anything like that. This way you get totally honest reviews every single time. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com. The best way that you can support me is through Patreon. Jump onto the $3 a month tier. That's only 10 cents a day. Or if you want to get in on some giveaways, and if you win a giveaway, it'll like you'll win between $50 and $100 worth of stuff. So it'll like pay for your Patreon for the next year plus. Jump onto the $5 tier. That's for tiny whoop and toothpick parts. There's a $10 tier for 3-inch micro brushless and cinewhoop parts. $20 a month tier for 5-inch parts. These are the best ways that you can support your boy, and I'll keep doing this forever as long as you guys keep doing that. There's some fun stuff you can buy over on my Etsy store. You can work one-on-one with me on Fiverr if you really want to learn a lot fast. What's your time worth, friends? If you've got more money than time, work with me. I'll take 8 years of knowledge and dump it all into your brain so that you don't have to get more than 50% bad info on Reddit and Facebook. I'm not even kidding. More than half of the info that people give on Facebook and Reddit is dead ass wrong. So if you want to buy stuff that sucks and or not fix things the right way, by all means, listen to everybody on Facebook and Reddit. If you actually want to learn something and or stop wasting money, I can help you with that. We can schedule a session. It's $40 for a half an hour, $60 for an hour. I can kind of like walk you through stuff, or if you have a whole bunch of questions, I can sort of let you drive. Whatever works, whatever you're looking for. There's a Teespring store with some fun apparel. So here's one of those another one of those blue and white batteries. It's almost dead at like 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It's the battery. It's not the quad. And there's a whole bunch of affiliate links over there too. At this point, if you're doing an order on the internet, someone has an affiliate link. Use it. It's free money, and they can do a better job with a couple extra dollars from that affiliate link that you used. You can just replace your bookmarks with affiliate links, and then you don't have to try to remember. Super, super, super simple. The whole time I've been flying it, BetaFPV ships it with Throttle Expo, but they ship it with the midpoint up at 65%, which is ridiculous. I don't know what the deal is with that, but you need to fix that, and that was just me fixing it.
ELRS.
Okay, now we're moving to a Mobula 7. But unfortunately, I'm still using the shitty batteries. So this is a Mobula 7 ELRS with 33,000 kV motors. Unfortunately, the battery can't keep up, though. So you'll see, like, this is a fresh battery, right? I'm 18 seconds into flying it. It just sagged all the way down to 3.2. So this was not a great test here. But yeah, this is the Mobula 7 with the 33,000 kV 802s. Looks pretty damn similar. It looks pretty similar because of the sag. I'm really not getting that 33,000 kV. It did, this did have more power. I could tell that it had a little bit more, but yeah, the battery was just kind of a mess. In a minute, I think I fly this rig on a lava battery. We'll let this play out. This is a build that's like totally dialed in. I've been flying this for hundreds and hundreds of batteries. It's kind of hard to tell a difference between this and the Air75, isn't it? This is also on a RunCam Nano 3. I prefer this camera, but to each his or her own. The Air75 is on a CO3. The CO3 did really well in the camera testing the other day on Wednesday. So, yeah. Here's another head-to-head comparison of you've been watching CO3, now you're watching RunCam Nano 3. In the chat, Crom says, hope you're feeling better tonight. Bad says, so these are the folks that have tagged me by typing CiottiFPV into their chat comment. Bad says, hope you're feeling good, man. Building a 2S 75mm. Thoughts on the 19,000 kV 0703s from sub 250. They're pretty good. I didn't like them as much on the Walk Snail 2S 75 as I do the T-Motor 1002s or the BetaFPV 1102s, but it sounds like you're doing an analog build, so those motors might be totally fine.
Mobula 7 33,000 kV 802 rig, but with a orange and red,
there we go.
Black lava battery.
So now this is on the lava battery. You'll see it's not going to sag as bad, and you'll also see that there's a bunch more power. This is a completely unfair fight. This is 802 33,000 kV motors versus 23,000, which is what the Air 75 comes with. It was really tough for me to adjust to these motors, so I didn't necessarily fly any better. But yeah, also like more powerful motors are harder to fly. You can do more stuff with them, right? More power allows you more throw and just more speed and all that good stuff. It also makes the PID loop work better. But still, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to fly any better. Less powerful motors, you have more throttle resolution. So in some cases, you'll actually fly better with less powerful motors, but there is a point where you don't have enough power and it becomes like frustrating to fly. So you sort of have to figure that, that out for yourself. Bob Bruce says, what's up? He also says, Jungle Gym and no kids. How did you get so lucky? This is our neighborhood jungle gym. It is commonly empty. It is when I go here, more often than not, there is no one here than someone here. We don't have a big neighborhood, but yeah, I don't know. Kinetic says, could you flip the board on the Air 75 to protect the UFL? It might get a little annoying with the canopy though. You could, but then you would have to take the rear canopy mounting post off every single time that you plugged in. And it probably wouldn't, I don't think it would protect the UFL. I think the UFL on this new, on all of these new boards, they break off when you unplug the antenna. And flipping the board's not really going to help that. The whole flipping the board thing, I'm not a fan of it in most cases. And in this case, I would definitely not like it. That would be a nightmare to have to take the canopy off every single time you want to plug it into Betaflight. Kinetics, no, we got that. Uriel says, you always break it on the last battery, LOL. Yeah, hopefully. That's the way you want to do it. Christopher Conkright says, do you know what causes the D-Shot telemetry arm error? It's using Bluejay V21. I do not. I don't know if I've ever... I feel like I've maybe seen that, but I don't really know what that is. First step for troubleshooting for me, though, is always to look... Oh, you son of a bitch. God damn it. Well, that's weird. The software kept running. What? Why did the software keep running? Oh my god. Oh my god, what an absolute nightmare. Every single day of my life. Unplugging the camera and plugging it back in. Wow, that's super weird. Mega, mega, mega delay, but whatever. If as long as it works a little bit, I'm okay. So we're at 2 minutes and 40 seconds on this mega KV rig. I think I might have come in and no, I'm looking to make sure that the antenna is still there. Actually, yeah, we'll go a little bit more, I guess. Again, this is the Mobula 7 1S ELRS with 33,000 kV 0802s. We would not expect the same runtime, especially because I'm really hammering on this thing, using full throttle a good amount. The 802 23,000 kV motors that come on the Air75 seem to be pretty efficient. The BetaFPV 0702s, a lot of the racers complain about the efficiency on those motors, especially compared to the Happy Model motors. But yeah, these BetaFPV 802s seem fine. So there's 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Now we're going to go back to the Air75, I believe. Let me just make sure.
Right,
yep. I can see it at the top of the screen.
Lava batteries.
Okay, and this is another lava battery. So here, you know what, though? We're not going to make it all the way through this, I don't think. I don't think we made it all the way... I did not. I didn't make it all the way through this battery because the antenna at some point here pops off. I didn't even bother looking for it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the antenna popped off. Now these motors are starting to get banged up. You're going to start to see some vibrations at certain throttle values. That's 1mm motor shafts, baby. There's not a whole lot that you can do with motor shafts that thin on rigs that are either heavier or have good power. I'm trying to look for a spot where you can really see the vibrations. I've seen it a couple times, like very briefly so far, but I want to try to find a spot that I can pause in to show you those vibes. Yeah, you can see it there. Every time I stab the throttle, I move the throttle up through an RPM band where those vibrations are happening. Unfortunately, like, I stab the throttle really quickly, so it's almost impossible to pause this thing at the exact right moment. Boy, is that satisfying. It flies awesome, guys. I'm really happy with the way the Air75 rips right out of the box. And there are some upgrades that we can do to it to get it flying even better, which we'll talk about in a second or two. But some of which I'm going to do before I fly it inside the house. I have a couple more batteries charged here, waiting to go. Hey, here, I'm talking about it. Yeah, so I even noticed it while I was flying it. It's not terrible, but this is only like 4 or 5 batteries in. Yes, these are 4 or 5 pretty abusive batteries. This is where I noticed that there should not be any garbage in the video from 50 feet away like that. This is where I thought, you know what, I bet you the antenna popped off. And this is me being a stubborn ass MFer. But yeah, so now I realize that the battery had popped off, and that's kind of it. It's not good to fly these things without a battery antenna. The video antenna popped off. It's really bad to fly these things without a video antenna. So yeah, when I got it home, I popped a new one on, and before I fly it again, I'm going to put a big old blob of E6000 on that UFL. That is going to be actually, I'm going to do it right now. I'll show you guys how to do that. So get your little thing of E6000, and I'll do it over here so that we've got a gray background. And so what you want to do on the UFL here is, this is this E6000 that's like really hard to squeeze out of the tube. Oh, for Christ's sakes. I'm getting rid of this. This is ridiculous. I think I have a tube of E7000. That's fine. Hold up. Hold on. Hello, Teddy. How are you, sir? How are you, small sir? Oh my god. I can't believe I just missed the garbage can. It's huge and like a foot away. So I'm going to use E7000, which is just black E6000, it seems like. All right. So here's where you want to get it. If this doesn't focus, you'll live. But basically, you want to make sure that you get it down on the board and up on the antenna. One of the great things about E6000, E7000 is that it peels off very easily. It peels off just like hot glue, but it deals with heat much better than hot glue. So there you go. I'm telling you guys, do that before you fly it. If you don't do that before you fly it, you will either rip. If you're lucky, you'll just rip the antenna off. If you're unlucky, you'll rip the UFL off. And that's just silly. Don't do that to yourself on a brand new build. Let me just wipe the... I love these little needle applicator point tips, but if you don't wipe them off before you put this away, they get all awful. So do that. This is from Tiny Whoop. Black E6000. Labeled T7000. Works really well. Is good stuff. I also use it to black out the LEDs on these things. On the little RC drift car chasing rigs, I don't want the RC car drivers to be distracted by the Tiny Whoop chasing them around. So I put little tiny dabs of that E7000 on top of the little LEDs on the boards, and it dims them all the way down, but if you look at them, you can actually still see them, which is sort of perfect, because those LEDs are telling you things. Like they're flashing in certain sequences that are sort of important. I just put E6000 on this, and I'm going to fly it. That was stupid. I'm going to wait as long as I possibly can to fly that in hopes that E7000 can cure up a little bit. That was silly that I just did that a minute ago, but whatever. We'll be all right. In the box, it comes with an extra set of propellers. It comes with the little dongle thing that you need because it doesn't use a USB port to save weight, so don't lose this. I have a couple of these for sale on my Etsy store, and I think that tinywhoop.com also sells them. So if you lose it, you're not totally assed out. It comes with an extra canopy, and that's about it. A couple of extra screws, and that's really it. All these things come with the exact same stuff. It's fine. The propellers that it comes with are the GemFan 1610 with the 1mm motor shaft. We're going to talk more about that in a second. Let me try to get caught up on chat just a little bit here. ThrashFPV says, what part of that Air75 drops weight so much? Mainly the AIO, but also the frame. I use a Mobula 7 frame, iGao 27K, and an X12 at 25 grams. Yeah, the X12 is a very heavy AIO. It's got 12 amp FETs. This only has 5 amp FETs. It's a full-sized AIO. This is a, like, diamond size. See, there's nothing up in the front here where my finger is, right? So this AIO is significantly lighter than the X12 AIO. This Air75 frame is a full gram lighter than the Mobula 7 V4 frame. This Air75 frame broke within 5 batteries. I've never broken a Mobula 7 V4 frame that quickly. The only part of the Mobula 7 frame, I'm sorry, no, I have broken the outside of one of them. Typically the part of the Mobula 7 V4 frame that breaks are these duct supports. And if you reinforce them a little bit with E6000, they just don't break anymore. So these little guys were that black shit, that's that E7000. That's what you need to do on this Mobula 7 V4 frame to make it really, really durable. And you just run a little bead around the top and the bottom. So whenever you buy a Mobula 7 V4 frame, before you mount it in anything, just run a little bead of E6000 or E7000 around those top battery supports, and the frame becomes super, super, super durable. Here it is with clear E6000. It also makes the batteries fit in there a little bit better too. The battery bay on the Mobula 7 V4 frame is a little bit loose. By putting this little bit of E6000, you see how it rounds the corner out on the right there? It makes the batteries fit in there really, really nice. Doesn't take very long. Super quick thing to do, and it makes a massive difference. So yeah, but that frame is a gram heavier than this. Camera canopy setup, it's probably about the same as the camera canopy setups that I run, which is a RunCam Nano 3 in the old school Mobula 6 canopy. It's the RunCam Nano 3 has been discontinued, so it's hard to get your hands on this camera. But yeah, that's the weight difference between them. Balaz Hadassi with 1,000 Huff super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, thanks for your work. Do we need to re-weld the UFL connector also? Some experience tells BetaFPV doing some cold weld so connector pops off too. I don't know if it's popping off because they're not doing, because it's cold solder joints, or because they're saving weight everywhere that they can on these boards and they're making them thinner. I don't know what the reasoning behind it is, but that UFL is awful small, and it's like it's buried in there with other components. I don't know how much luck you're gonna have getting the tip of a soldering iron in there. If you're gonna do that, put a bunch of flux on it. And yeah, be super careful. I don't know if that's gonna fix the problem though. My fix for the problem is a big old blob of E6000 that goes from the PCB up onto the connector with the UFL on the board itself. Yeah. What I'm going to recommend is that when you get it, figure out what antenna that you're going to do. My absolute favorite antenna, and many other people's favorite antennas that I've turned onto this antenna, is the ORT Micro V. Race Day Quad sells this. It's like $7. It weighs, I think, 0.4 of a gram, so it is lighter than the whip antennas, but it works better and it's way more durable than the whip antennas. So my recommendation is going to be to get this thing. The first thing that you do is to pop the antenna that it comes with off. If the UFL rips off with it, contact whoever you bought it from and say, hey, I went to remove the antenna and it ripped the pad off with it. You need to send me a replacement. This is nonsense. And they should. There's really no reason for them to not. It is completely unreasonable to say, oh, well, just don't remove the antenna. Like, I can't possibly imagine any reseller trying to say that. If they do try to say that, post all over the internet about it, because that is bullshit and they need to be called out for that. That is unacceptable, right? So in theory, it won't rip the UFO off the PCB, and then you put your antenna that you've decided that you're going to run on this thing on, you put a big blob of E6000 like you just saw me do, and you're done. You don't ever remove that antenna again. Consider it to be like a single time use UFL. The whip antenna that it comes with is totally fine. It's a little bit heavier than the Micro V, but they work completely fine. You can make them lighter by removing the ground plane, as I've done a bunch of times on the live stream. It's going to get significantly worse performance by doing that, but it's going to lighten it up quite a bit. It becomes lighter than the ORT Micro V at that point. But really, just get a Micro V, slap it on there, E6000 over the whole thing, and you'll be good to go. It'll never come unplugged, and it shouldn't rip that UFO off the board. Dave S. says, I have some blue and white beta batteries that are folded cell and some that are not folded. Interesting. The folded have a white warning label print on one side. Huh. How do you know that some are folded and some are not? My guess is that the folded ones are more square and the rolled ones are more of an oval. All of my Beta FPV blue and whites are very square, which is why I've always thought that they're folded cell. Um, I think they're just old. I think those are just old ass batteries that I've been flying them a lot lately because I've been wanting to get them out of here. And I think I may have pushed that a little bit too far. Like usually there'll be like one or two batteries that if so like I'm one of the things that I try to do, I do, is when I get a new set of batteries in, I'll use a unique color of metallic Sharpie up on the top of the battery. I do it up here because you won't wipe it off. If you do it here, it gets wiped off. If you do it here, it gets wiped off. If you do it here, a lot of the times it gets wiped off. If you do it up by the connector here, you won't accidentally wipe that marker off. And so you see a bunch of blue batteries here, right? Usually, these blue batteries will sort of die at the same rate, but there'll be one that lasts a little bit longer and kind of does a little bit better. And I'll usually notice that. And that'll be like, and that's how I can tell, like, all right, these batteries are kind of getting old because, like, there's 4 of them that are starting to shit the bed, but there's one that's still doing pretty good. These Beta FPV blue and white batteries, they kind of all went slowly to their death at the same time. And I think maybe that's why I didn't notice it. Although in that flight footage, there was one battery that was that ran, one of the blue and whites that ran significantly better. So maybe I was just, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't notice it. It is what it is. Tokyo Dom is in the house. He says the blue and white 450s are the same as the GNB cells. It's a 1S 2P rolled configuration inside. They aren't that bad, but folded is better. Yeah, folded is always better. I've been actually pretty impressed by those blue and whites, but man, over the last couple of months, but boy, comparing it to a brand new lava battery today was like, yeah, super noticeable. Technique says, hey buddy, hope you have an awesome day. Thank you, brother. I am indeed. Frank Nicholas says that EOS webcam view was frozen for a while before it turned off. Now it seems to be okay. I guess this is the deal. The EOS webcam software seems to shit the bed twice, and then it's fine after that. So, you know, in a world that makes no sense, just another thing that makes absolutely no sense ever, in any way, shape, or form. Cloudhopper says, have you tried the HGLRC Petral 75mm frame? I didn't even know that there was a 75mm frame. I thought there was just the 85. Hold on. I'll be damned. Look at that. Back ordered. Of course. What's it weigh? What do you weigh, buddy? What's it weigh? 5.52 grams. Let me see. Do I have another frame? Well, let's weigh an Air75 frame. I can reverse engineer it from the Air75 frame because I know that the Mobula 7 V4 is 1 gram heavier. So this will totally work. Air75 frame is 4.44 grams. So call it 4.5. All right, so the Petral frame basically weighs what the Mobula 7 V4 frame weighs. That's pretty cool. Nothing wrong with that. I wonder what the battery mounting setup is. This looks a little weird here. The way that, oh, for fuck's sake. Can you please? What the hell was that? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is a strange looking battery. What? There is no battery bay. What the hell? How the hell are you supposed to mount a battery in there? Oh, rubber bands. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. How the hell are you supposed to get the rubber bands in there? It's closed off. How do you... What the hell? Let's see. Is there really no picture of it with the rubber bands? Oh, here we go. This is what I need. This is what I want to see. Come on, Dark Store. Come on, Dark Store. You can do it. Show me a picture of it with the rubber bands. Okay, or not. So they have the picture hosted on their website, but they're not using it. Great. So it looks like you hook the rubber bands up in the corners. I don't know about that, man. I mean, what's nice about that is you can put different sized batteries in there, but I really try to avoid the whole rubber band battery thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? Ugh. Hold on. Uriel says, I don't like swimming pools to fly over. Who are the prophets that are in the background? There's no prophets in the background. What? Brandis McBean says, you've done that in the dog bowl. We unplugged it in the water before pulling it out. He had video still. Has yours been fine after drying? No, that one never came back to life. That Air's AIO never came back to life. Much like Canon's horrible software. Unplugging and replugging. Hey, wow, how amazing. All right. Cheetonian says, do you feel that prop to guard fit affects flight performance in an appreciable way? Like the difference between BetaFPV and Happy Model Unibells in a Mobula 7v4 frame, more prop damage for sure. How close the tip of the propeller is to the guard has no real effect. Where the propeller sits from a vertical standpoint has a massive effect on your ability to crash, basically. If the tip of the propeller does not ride properly around on the inside of the duct, if the tip of the propeller is either too high or too low, it will crash like shit. Because every single time you crash, instead of the frame pushing into the tip of the propeller and then pushing into the motor, like you see here, what'll happen is the propeller will go under and then it'll stall the propeller out. The prop will hit the little support and the motor will stall and it will fall out of the air. So you will never be able to like bump into something and bounce off. Same deal if it's too high. Although I guess it's not as bad if it's too high, because if it's too high, it won't hit the support. But it's still not a good thing. So yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with flight performance though. I think it only really has to do with crash performance. Oh shit. I just got that E7000 absolutely everywhere. God damn it. Oh man, it's all over the place. It's all over the desk. You bastard. Oh my god. Fuck. Oh man, I smeared it all over the place on here too. Hold on, let me make sure that there's still enough of it on there to do the job that I want it to do. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. Oh man. Oh man, that shit's nasty. The usually I use the clear E6000 and like I've gotten it all over me before, but it's clear so you can't see it. This T7000 is black and it is just, it's hard to get off and it is just all over me. Shit. Makes me kind of not want to fly this because I don't want to get that shit on the carpet, but it's tucked up in there. So if I crash it like that, it's not gonna, I can't imagine it getting on the carpet. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Tiny Shark says, thoughts on, oh, we talked about that. Uriel says, it's like, it's always the last alcoholic drink that makes you sick. CMYK is in the house. What's up, homie? Dave S says, Square is folded, I thought, but I'm noticing the difference in the 300 mAh batteries. Only a hunch, but I'm thinking new stock is folded. 300 mAh batteries, it's super obvious, folded versus rolled. These 450s, I can see it being a little bit more difficult, but whatever. Those blue and whites are gone. It is all, the only batteries I have now that are 1S450 are the Weebleeds, which are definitely folded, the BetaFPV Lavas, which are definitely folded, and then I've got 4 of these Tiny Whoop 450s, which are definitely folded as well, and they're a little bit lighter weight with the little lead. The problem with these batteries is they fall out. Although that fits pretty good in this. Ooh, that won't fall out of this frame. Cool. These batteries do not love the Mobula 7 V4 frame. I could certainly put a little bit more E6000 in here to keep them in, but if I nose this thing in really hard, the battery will pop all the way up and out. That's why I really prefer the batteries with the plastic bastards, the plastic guys. This keeps it from shooting out the front of the battery bay. Not a problem if you don't crash super hard all the time. So take that with a big old grain of salt there. What else? Ginger FPV RC says, hey there, buddy. How you doing? Just got my first 6S battery Speedy Pizza 1200 on my HGLRC Sector 5 V3 from 2020. Got the Wizard on 5S with S4 props. Have a good day. Awesome, man. 6S is nutso. Uriel says, I also sometimes shit the bed. Tiny Shark FPV says, I have the GNB 2S 350. How different are they from the Tiny Whoop 2S 300 performance-wise? I don't know. I've never run those GNB 2S 350s, so I can't really... yeah, I have no idea. But I'm going to assume that the GNB 2S 350s are an XT30 battery with a balance lead. So one of the big differences is going to be that the Tiny Whoop 2S 300s are going to be a lot lighter with the BT 3.0 plug and no balance leads. So there should be a pretty significant difference in weight, plus 300 mAh versus 350, obviously. Cloudhopper says, I'm not sure how much the Petral canopy weighs. The battery mounts with a rubber band. The rubber is pretty heavy, so those rubber bands are going to add a significant amount of weight to that Petral frame. If at some point I get frustrated by the durability of the Mobula 7 V4 frame, maybe I'll try that, but I haven't. Yeah, I'm still okay with it. Tiny Shark says, I was able to get the GNB 2S350 with only the 3-pin plug and just converted it to BT 3.0. That's really cool. Weight is at 16 grams. Let me see what these guys weigh. Let me not weigh this one because I've got tape wrapped around it. I've got tape wrapped around this one too. Here's a naked one. That sounds pretty light though. 15.08. Yeah, wow, you're only a gram heavier. Very cool. Like I said though, I've never run that battery, so I can't compare it in terms of performance. Uriel says, I am yes. He also says, put toilet paper on it's fun. Interesting. All right, caught up on chat. Let's fly inside the house. First, I'm going to fly 65 millimeter something as a benchmark for you. Hey, let's fly the Air 65. How about that? We'll have an all BetaFPV flight fiesta tonight. This is actually a prototype Air 65, so it's not totally perfect. The VTX, they were still figuring the VTX out. So this is not what you're going to get something better than this if you buy the production Air 65. But this still flies great. It's completely stock other than the props, although I think they might be including these props now. These are the Gemfan 1219S propellers. Just to double check which one this is. This is the one with the 27,000 kV motors. Cool. Away we go. Okay. This is a Dogcom battery that has been run quite a bit. Still seems all right though. All right, so Air 65 first. Just to get us in the ballpark. I don't think this is bound. The Air 65 and 75 do not use binding phrases. But you just plug it and unplug it 3 times, and it's in bind mode. Put your module into binding mode, and you're good to go. This thing just had a huge yaw twitch. That was weird. Oh my god. Alright, we're back. Okay. Try this again. Okay. It's going well. Adjusting from 75s to 65s and vice versa is always a little bit difficult. A lot of video noise in this. What's Maggie doing? What's she doing? She making a salad? Yeah, we voted today, friends. Get your ass out and vote. Make sure you vote. Hey, whether or not you vote is now, I guess it always has been, but I didn't realize it, is public knowledge. So I'm going to look all of you up, and I'm going to see if you voted. And if you don't vote, I'm going to punch you in the head. What do you think of that? I think this battery is on its way out. This is not the most efficient rig, but we should get more runtime than that. These Dogcom batteries did not they didn't not last long, but they didn't last long either. I don't know. I didn't notice really much of a difference between them and any of the other folded cell batteries. So, yeah, the fact that they say that they're 320 MAH, I call bullshit. I could totally be wrong, but yeah. All right, let's try another one. This is a battery that has no label on it, so I have no idea what it is. It's either a tattoo or a... It could be a dog com. It's not a Weebleed battery, because Weebleed uses... I can't believe I just got that. Weebleed uses labels that wrap around the end of the battery and they don't peel off. So does BetaFPV with their lava batteries. Whoa! Teddy boy. There he is. Here he comes. Oh, shit. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Big and tough tonight. He's big and tough tonight. Whoa! Oh, man, he is a tough guy tonight. I'm trying to get a tracking shot of him chasing. Look at the RSSI. I'm trying to fly backwards while he's chasing it. Whatever. I don't know why I just let it hit the ground. Man, these two batteries are just falling on their faces. This again though, these BetaFPV 702 motors are known to make okay power, but to really lack efficiency. And so the combination of those motors with older batteries is not great. I'm actually gonna I gotta start getting rid of batteries, man. I got all these batteries that like they work, but they don't run great. It's just stupid. I'm both of those batteries are actually gone. So there you go. There's a 65 millimeter lightweight rig inside the house. That's your that's sort of our control. Now we're gonna do a 75 millimeter rig in the house, which I don't recommend. 65 millimeter rigs for inside, 75 for outside. You can certainly fly a 65 outside or a 75 inside. I would rather fly a 65 millimeter rig outside than a 75 millimeter rig inside. Especially now that we have like really powerful 0702 motor options for the 65 millimeter rigs. So yeah, there you go. A 75 millimeter rig inside the house, like it's so much more difficult. It's more difficult to fly, and it's going to potentially break your stuff and or the people that you live with stuff. And that goes over like a fart in church. So yeah. Jesus Christ. The Air 75 frame, the batteries fit. I wish the battery bay was actually a little bit bigger. The batteries are too tight in there. There is such a thing as too tight, my friends. Hey, that's the wrong button. Air 75 in the house. With wet E6000 on it. Oh god. So it's a momentum thing. The 75 millimeter rigs, the extra weight means that they have extra momentum, and that's just really hard to deal with inside the house. They also tend to make more power. Not always, but and that extra power in the house you don't necessarily need. This is totally flyable in the house. Not as good as something lighter. But this is a very light 75 millimeter rig. And so if you're going to fly a 75 in the house, this is a good one to do it with. Aye. Ooh, I didn't even see Azalea sitting over there. She's gonna attack me. She's gonna hit it. Here she comes. She's gonna hit it. I knew it. Let's instigate. Let's instigate. Come on. Yeah! I'm learning her tells. Look at Teddy, he's freaking out on the ground. The whole family's getting on the inside. Oh god, he charged me. Whoa! Oh, the dog loves the BetaFPV rigs. It's dark up there. Why is it so dark up there? Oh, hey. Oh, Teddy! Let's go get him. Oh boy! Oh man, did you see him shy away? I must have hit him at one point. I did. I hit him a couple weeks ago, I think. Come on, buddy. Get it! I know how to get him interested. Look at the fluff blowing in the wind. Hey! I will never get sick of that. Ah! That's like my favorite new move to do up here. Ah, there it is! Yeah! That is it. That was like perfectly executed. You can do it with a backflip too. It just doesn't look as cool. Oh god! I got very confused by doing it with pitch back rather than pitch. Oh, the stairs got me. Rather than pitch forward. It doesn't look as good doing it with pitch back anyway. Look at this runtime, man. On these lava batteries inside the house. Inside the house, you're not going to be covering ground. Oh, shit, son. Inside the house, you're not going to be covering as much ground as you will outside. Oh! We are in it, my friends. In it. I think that went through all three of those gates. It certainly looked like it. Lightweight, man. Lightweight inside the house. It's the name of the game. Ah! Thought of this move last night where I, like, stay low to the couch and wrap around this little corner here. Oh, it's hard, though. She said. Woo! Ah, I got all whacked out. Get you some of this! Oh, so close! 4 minutes? What? Yeah, these BetaFPV 802s do not suffer from the lack of efficiency that the 702s do. This is, this is also super interesting. That I think this is also kind of showing us that 33,000 kV, 30,000 kV on 802s on these 1.6-inch props, we don't really need that much RPM. This is a 23,000 kV. Here's what I will say. BetaFPV, all of their motors that I've tested spin a higher RPM than what the KV says. I think they underrate their motors a little bit. So these 23,000s, I bet you they certainly feel like a 25,000. So yeah, I think that's also got something to do with it. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. Upgrades for this thing. We haven't talked about that, but I'm about to do a simple upgrade. Propellers. These these Gemfan 1610 propellers are awesome. And if you want durability, stick with these. These are great. BetaFPV does this custom like milky white kind of color. Whatever. You can get these in blue or smoke crotch gray from GemFan. These would look really cool in blue. These propellers are for durability. HQ has a set of ultralight bi-blades that are 1.6 inches, and they are significantly lighter weight, so you're going to get better PID loop performance and better response time, and that's what I'm about to change. Fair warning, I have broken a bunch of the HQ props. So if you're going to be flying it outside, if you're going to be flying it like somewhere sort of unrecoverable, stick with the GemFan props, hands down. If you're just going to be ripping around the house or in your front yard, it's still kind of freaky to have a propeller that is going to break, because when one of these props breaks, if you're up on your roof, you're getting the ladder out. If you're up above the trees, it's maybe never coming home. So the easy button is to leave the GemFan props on there. The GemFan 1610s are legendary propellers. They are awesome. These HQs, it's super cool that they're as lightweight as they are, but man, are they fragile. Also, this thing ships props out, and I didn't take the propellers off to change that. And I'm being lazy right now, and I'm not gonna move it to props in. At some point I will, but I'm not doing it right now. I just don't feel like it. That's potentially a little bit of an upgrade that you could do to it. Change it to props in. It's going to dive better. Zero throttle dives are handled better by ducted rigs that are on props in for some strange reason. If you've got a Cinewhoop that's props out, for the love of God, get it to props in. It makes a huge difference with Cinewhoops, and they have the hardest time dropping altitude. Although mine flew better across the board. Everything they did was better when I moved them to props in. So yeah, there you go. Now it's on these HQ ultralight 1.6 inch props. Let's see how it is. Another lava battery. I have not flown this enough that I'm confident I'll be able to tell a difference, but you never know. These are also kind of beat up. These are used HQ 1.6 inch props that I pulled off of the VCI motors, so not a set of fresh propellers by any stretch of the imagination. See how the PID loop handles it. Should be fine. I didn't really go completely nutso with the tune. Speaking of the tune, let me make sure it's on. Oh wow, it's on the stock tune. So that was the stock tune. Now I'm going to move it to my specific tune. It's fine. These propellers are lower pitch, so you're going to get a little bit less power, which I can absolutely notice. So far, I like it better on the GemFan props. What the hell is that on the screen? Is there a speck of dust on the sensor, or is that on the outside of the lens? Let's wipe the lens off and we'll see. Nope, that's a spot of dust on the sensor. See it there? Sometimes when that happens, if you like flick the camera, you might be able to knock that piece of dust down. But I mean, it's in there forever. That sucks. Yeah, that's super annoying. Nothing I can do. Yeah, if I move this up to higher kV, more powerful motors, I would maybe be cool with these lower pitch, lighter props. Ooh, that was crash recovery, getting a little confused there. But I don't know if I'll do that. I'm happy enough with the way that this thing flies that I think I'm gonna leave it alone. Oh boy. The lighter weight props absolutely make this thing more reactive. Woo! which is great. That's a real problem with 75 millimeter rigs, is a lack of response time and just like a general like lazy feeling. So yeah, these propellers really do help with that. Unfortunately, they're just super fragile. You can see the white balance kind of struggling. We've got these purple and green lights out in front of the house right now. So the white balance is adjusting to them, and then it's going over here and it's trying to adjust to the incandescent light. Let's get this back downstairs. These props are interesting, man. It feels great on the sticks, but then full throttle it feels less great. These propellers are only for, they don't make these in 1.5. Although wait, somebody on the stream the other night said that they are making these props in 1.5 millimeter motor shaft now. I haven't seen them anywhere, but that's awesome. God damn. Once the crashing starts, it just keeps going. Ah, I thought I could back it up through this gate. Whoa! I haven't heard that sound in a while. That's the transmitter battery going dead. What a obnoxious sound. Great runtime on this rig. That is probably because of how light it is. The weight of a rig has a lot to do with runtime because it has to carry that weight the entire length of the battery. Ah! No. Easy with the plinko. Oh, shit, son! Come on now. Come on now. Come on. There we go. Got it. Laziness always wins. Oh, I got in between them. I didn't mean to. Oh, that hit the wall hard. I'm trying to fly it a little bit harder because I remembered the repair that I did to the ducts, and I really want to see if it'll hold up. So forgive me for a minute. I'm gonna just absolutely hammer the hell out of this thing. Battery's about done. Oh, that would have been sick. Whoa, Jesus. Video kind of flickered a little bit weird there. Woo! Didn't quite have enough elevation. Alright, this battery's done 4 minutes and 20 seconds. The weed number. Battery's bouncing back up to 3.6. I ran that battery down. I'm running these batteries down a little bit lower than normal. I don't think there's... I'm not getting warnings where I expect to get them. So that's one of the reasons that we're getting that extra runtime. But these 802 23,000s are definitely an efficient motor. I think what we're also seeing is that when the motor is that lower kV, when you do go full throttle, it's not just like really hammering on the battery so bad. So I think we're getting to see really the benefits of all up weight being lighter and lower kV. And it still flies totally fine, and the frame is still being held together by a silly little piece of shrink wrap. It is unbelievable how good that works. Everything else seems okay. Yeah, I mean, the crashes at the Jungle Gym are heinous. So yeah, they're going to really pound on anything. Dude, this flies great. I am I am really, really surprised at how good this flies inside the house. Uh, it's one of, if not the lightest weight 75 millimeter rig that I've flown. Tell me that I didn't just Stevie Wonder that whole fucking thing. Okay, no, thank God. Woo! Okay, good. Damn. What time is it? 8:42. We got a little bit more time. Look at all that up tilt though. Boy, oh boy, is that a lot of up tilt. And this is on the this canopy is on the rearmost mount hole, so you can't put less up tilt into it. But I've kind of gotten used to the up tilt. I'm tempted to fly one of the Mobula rigs, but I'm gonna have to adjust. I have 2 batteries left. Let's just do it. We'll do the 2G4 rig. This is the closest one. This is like it's closest one in terms of weight. I think this is gonna be like 2 grams heavier. This is on Happy Model 802 30,000 kV motors. No, this has a slipped motor shaft. This motor. I'm holding the bell right now, and the propeller just spins because the motor shaft has parted ways from the bell, which is sad. That happened while I was out at the jungle gym bashing it. So I need to fix this motor. I need to put another one of these bells on this motor. Instead, we're gonna fly the 33,000 kV Death Machine. This is a straight up Mobula 7 1S ELRS with a motor swap and the very cool Tiny Whoop BT 2.0 180 degree thing. Here we go. Launch control. Launch control can get a little bit confused sometimes. Ah! We don't have to fly. This is just as fun as flying. Oh, Teddy! He just knocked it out of the air. He doesn't usually do that. Sometimes, though. Oh, God! Alright, so more power, for sure. Oh, my God! See, now we're into the territory of too much power for inside the house. Let's go upstairs real quick. Hey. When flying inside the house, weight matters the most, but not having too much power really does help. There is a point where it's just too much. These are custom sort of pieced together. They're basically Tiny Whoop Emoptera 0802 33,000 kV bells with old school iGow, I'm sorry, stators rather, 0802 33,000 kV stators, and then Emoptera stators with iGow bells on them. Wish this fan was on right now. Oh, shit. What did I just do? Oh, the recycling. I just knocked the recycling over. Nope. I knocked everything over. I knocked over the thing of the thing of utensils. There you go, my friends. That's why you don't fly 75mm rigs in the house. It's actually heavy enough to knock over an entire thing of fucking utensils. Holy shit. Hold on. I gotta go fix that. Oh shit, it's getting hot. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. Yeah, there you go, friends. A 65mm rig would not have knocked that stuff over. Look at him. Look at him. He's ready. He's ready. Oh! He jumped the gun. You jumped the gun, buddy. You jumped the gun. Look at that fluff over his nose. Let's see if we can blow it away. Ah, there, it got fixed. Ah! Ah! Oh! Whoa! 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 Hey, yo! Good thing I let the cork temperature... Oh, God! That hit me in the head. Oh, Daddy! I was a little too slow in getting it up in the air. He just doesn't care, dude. He does not care. I think I could hit him in the face with this at full stank and he would just laugh. He would just get twice as excited about it. Look at this runtime. Holy shit. These things get crazy runtime inside the house. Holy hell. When you fly these outside, you're like nose down, charging all over the place. And that really eats up the battery. When you're inside the house, you can't do that because it's, you know, there's walls and shit. So yeah, oh fuck. I over discharged this transmitter battery, something awful. We're gonna stop it there. I'm not gonna fly another battery. Go fly your 6 batteries, friends. Or else. I gotta swap this out. No, hold on. Yeah! I'm gonna do it now. If I don't do it now, I'll forget to do it. I might have ruined this transmitter battery, but, I mean, it's just a transmitter battery. In theory, you could run them down to Chinatown and they'll be alright. Let's see. Let's see where it is. Oh, shit! 2.4 per cell. That ain't gonna do anybody any good. How is it still working? It's not even gonna charge it, is it? Oh, wow, it is. Look at it. Look at you! Yeah! Alright, alright, alright! Oh, okay. So old. The dog says. Oh, good. The camera froze while I was over there. What a perfect time for it to freeze. You guys couldn't even tell. So that's 4. So US webcam utility has frozen 4 times in the course of one live stream. That's just terrific. What a complete failure of a piece of software. But I've got a new battery in my transmitter, and so life is good. Woo! Damn, yo. BetaFPV, great job on the Air75. Super impressive. We will see in terms of durability. That's my main question mark. If you get one, I do have a BetaFPV affiliate link on CiottiFPV.com to their website if you want to buy it direct from them. If you buy it from a reseller, I've got affiliate links to a bunch of different resellers. Get FPV, Race Day Quads. They're all over at CiottiFPV.com. Do me a huge favor and hook a brother up and click through. Again, the last battery that we flew was a fully custom rig. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do one more. We'll go back to back from the fully custom Mobula 7 back to the Air75. This is the battery that I just flew because it's still warm. All right. So we're going from 33,000 kV to 23. There will be a difference, but it probably won't be as drastic as one would think. Transmitter's not turned on. Not going to get very far that way. All right, last battery. Fly your 6 batteries today, friends. Fly 6 batteries every single day. You will transform as a pilot within a couple of months. And you'll begin having so much fun. What? What? I think not. What? Oh, I forgot to turn that off. That's interesting. OSD profile 1 did not get overwritten. Ah! Knocking shit over again. Making my point. 75s are too heavy for in the house. Yeah, significantly less power. Significantly less power. This rig, where I really notice it is what I want is to be able to do I want to be able to just blip the throttle to full and have it give me everything that I expect. What I notice on this is that I can't just blip the throttle to full. I have to sit it at full throttle. So like, see that? Like on the 33,000 kV rig, I could just go blip and it would get, I mean, that went through, but like blip and it would get, yeah, I mean, that's getting up there. It's not a huge difference. These motors make really good power, way more than I would think. Them being marked 23,000, I don't think that they are actually 23,000. I would bet that they're 25,000. But still, that's a lot. That's still less power than what I would personally want from something this big. But man, that's getting kind of nitpicky. This thing flies amazing, and the fact that it's lighter weight. The fact that it's so lightweight really does help with that. This is my tune. It is very dialed. There was a situation a second ago where if it was gonna prop wash, it absolutely would have, and it is not. So like another nice thing about these motors is that they do have enough power that you can keep pushing the D-gain slider up and chasing with the P&I slider to get all the prop wash out. That's a big deal. Even on kind of like beat up props that it's on right now. Ah, shit. I'll tell you what, this mark in the sensor, this piece of dust on the sensor here, is very annoying. Way more annoying than I thought it would be. I mean, it is just a freestyle rig though, so who cares? Get in there, Samsonite. I was way off. There, it says right on the suitcase, Samsonite. I was way off. Slappy. I forget the rest of the quote. Ah! Newbie drone gates got me again. Let's try again. Oh shit! What you know about that? Try it again. Nope. Try it again. Ah! I can't even get down the little tunnel. Nope. I didn't have enough forward momentum. No, that's such a hard throw, man. I also don't do it often enough. There it was. That was it. I was trying to do something cool. I was trying to go like this. It's hard to do. Hold on. This is a cool way to get in and out of a cube. Hold up. You pitch back when you get into it and roll to the side. I'm not doing a good job of it. Pitch back, roll to the side. Like that. I'm not very good at it, as you can see. But it's a cool way of getting into and out of a cube. I'm not rotating enough. That's the problem. Do it back this way. Man, it is. You're dealing with that. You're having to manage that forward momentum, which is tough. All you're actually doing is this. I'll do it real slow. All you're actually doing is this. In. You're pitching back to stop it from going forward, and then you're just kind of like rotating it to the side to get out. But then you're going backwards. And it's really busy over there, so I'm having a hard time getting it out. Did you see that? Did you see how it just bumped into the couch and bounced off? The only way that it did that is by having the propellers in line. Come on, man. Having the propellers in line with the ducts. That was sticks off while I picked the phone up. All right, last move is going to be a mirror flip. Oh, a good one, too. BetaFPV Air 75. What a thing. If you are not going to crash wow, 5 minutes, 20 seconds. That's almost too much runtime. If you are not going to crash the living shit out of a 75mm rig, this might be your bind and fly. I'm really impressed by this. Flies awesome. Arguably the best 75mm rig I've flown inside the house because it's the lightest and it doesn't have tons and tons and tons of power. My 75mm custom builds, I pretty much fly outside almost exclusively. And so I look for motors that make a ton of power because that feels better outside. This is definitely down on power from those, which makes it easier to fly inside. Plus, it's lighter. But it still flies great outside. You guys saw the flight footage earlier on. It rips. Damn. Yeah. Great job, BetaFPV. Really, really, really good job. The Air 65 I was into. I definitely dug that rig. It wasn't... This is more impressive to me than the Air 65. I'll just put it that way. I'm a big fan of the Meteor 75 Pro. This gives me a lot of that same kind of feeling. It's dialed. It's a really good motor prop all up weight combo. Bringing the weight down on this thing really makes a difference. Yeah, great job. 5 amp FETs, so you kind of, you wouldn't want to go to really powerful motors on this. In terms of like upgrades, I would maybe leave it be. Mess around with the props, that's for fun. If you start crashing it really hard, you are going to bend up these motor shafts, so you might need to replace the motors at some point. I would not go ballistic on the motors, though. I would like replace these motors with like 802 25,000s or something like that. Don't go, I don't think you would really want to go completely insane, because if you put a really high RPM motor on this, it's going to crash even harder, and you're going to break these frames even quicker. And you might start to break the AIOs and the AIO and the camera and other stuff like that. So I think the sweet spot for this is going to be with like 802 25,000 or so. I don't think you would really want to go north of that. You are going to have to direct solder the motors, though, which is going to be a total pain in the ass. So yeah, I would not replace these motors. I would fly this thing until it's, you know, 1 or 2 of the motors are vibrating so bad that you can't stand it anymore. I would take it all the way apart. I would get a set of 1.5 millimeter motor shaft motors, like the We Bleed vegan sponsored 802 25,000s. I would direct solder these on, and you're done. The 1.5 millimeter motor shaft is going to last forever. GemFan makes a version of this 1610 that has a 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, and it's a great prop, and you're good to go. Great job, BetaFPV. Thank you for sending this over, as well as the extra frames. And they sent some batteries over. These batteries are going to go straight into the giveaways. Yeah. Very, very cool. Great bind and fly. Bind and flies are so good nowadays. It's kind of ridiculous. Let me get caught up on chat real quick. I forgot. Where the hell was I? Here we go. Uriel says, I'm in Europe. I can't vote. Hit me. Bad Neuron says, I'm from France. You won't find my name. In France, voting has become a joke. Really? Uriel says, you have to adapt in the house. Cheetonian says, I swapped 4 702 motor bells over to the 1.5 millimeter shafts from Weebly the other night. Thanks for the tutorial a couple of streams ago. I think it's much easier without trying to film it. It is. You're certainly welcome, dude. I wanted to do mailbag tonight, but I completely forgot. My order from Weebleed came in, and there's a big old bag of those bells. So next live stream, we'll have to do a, I'll do a proper mailbag. Arg. McBucas says, I've been searching far and wide for USB-C 45PW replacement cord. I don't know what that is. If that's the BetaFPV cord that goes from JST to USB-C, I think I still have one of these on my Etsy store, but tinywhoop.com also sells it. I don't know what 45PW is. Oh, McNuka says it's for a soldering iron. Oh boy, I have no idea, brother. Bad Neuron says, damn good flying with the 75. How are your throttle midpoints and expo, please? The throttle expo is only set to 20, which is like practically nothing. And then the midpoint was at like 30, I believe it was. But I have the amount of expo turned way down. These motors are not super high kV, so you really don't need the throttle expo. You could probably run this without throttle expo and it'd be totally fine. The reason why throttle expo is so important on the 65s is because these motors are ridiculously high kV, and that makes the motors like peaky, basically. Mr. Dud says the antenna comes off because the canopy hits it. You have to cut that little piece that's touching the antenna. That used to be true. But BetaFPV is now doing that for us. I showed it earlier in the live stream, but for anybody that missed it, there it is. BetaFPV is doing that on purpose. the USB still rips off. It ripped off on the 4th battery today, even with it set up like this. So yeah, it's ripping off for other reasons. My assumption is that it's ripping off because when you hit shit, these stupid G-string style canopies move all over the place, right? And then that can yank on the UFL. I really prefer these Mobula 6 canopies that just don't move. They are just so much stronger and so much stiffer, and it makes the frame stronger. It supports the AIO more to make sure that the AIO doesn't get damaged. These old school Mobula 6 canopies are the best. Unfortunately, they don't work with many cameras. But I have a bunch of the cameras that they do work with, so I'm lucky. CMYK says, I'm still in disbelief that I actually cracked a Nano 3 lens. Never thought it would happen. I know, right? Cheetonian says, they're making them in 1.5mm. Tiny Whoop and Pyro Drone have them in stock. Nice. I asked that the other night, but I didn't see the answer. So... there they are. Hell yeah. Awesome. HQ ultralight. Fair warning, though. With a 1mm drill, when these are drilled for a 1mm motor shaft, they break at the hub. Hopefully, they've increased the size of the hub. I doubt it, though. So these might be even more fragile. I love that green, though. So yeah, with these, you're going to get better response time, but less thrust. For $2.25, you should snag a set. You should, while you're at it, get these. These are hysterical. Just quickly looking for anything super interesting on tinywhoop.com. Thrash FPV says, I have a Petral 85 frame I got on Amazon. Could it be a clone? I hear Mobula 8 internals can be switched, but the X12, the motors don't fit. The motor mounts are like a millimeter smaller, so they don't fit. What? That's not right. I have no idea. That's insane. Cheetonian says, can you talk about Bell stator compatibility? Yeah, basically, you have to stay within the same manufacturer. A Happy Model Bell will probably fit on a Happy Model stator. You can't go like BetaFPV Bell, Happy Model stator, or anything like that. But yeah, Happy Model's 802. Happy Model makes 802s in like 3 different varieties. The RS, the EX, which Tiny Whoop calls the Hex, H-E-X, and then just like the regular one, which Tiny Whoop calls the onesie. All of those 802s can be switched and swapped. Any of those bells will work. Basically, all of the Happy Model 802 stators, and 702, are exactly the same. So you can take any 802 bell and put it on any 802 stator. Same thing with the 702s. Although the 702s don't have a bunch of different bell designs. They're just different colors. But yeah, also, though, you can take a 1.5mm motor shaft 702 bell and put it onto a regular 1mm motor shaft stator. The stators stay the same. Midnight Jesus says, camera freezing can be a USB hub overload issue in Windows. This is a Mac machine. OBS should pick up the cam all by itself. Why do you run the utility? Because you have to. That's just the way that it is. I've been streaming for over 3 years, so I have a little bit of an idea of what I'm doing. Thrash FPV says, you ever put the Whoop into Maggie's hair? Not yet, and I don't plan on it. I really keep my distance from her because she puts up with a lot of my shit. Christopher Blackledge says, I was messing with my Air75, took the flight controller, put it on my old 75 Air setup, then changed my mind and put the Air75 motors on the Air65 frame. Interesting. Bad Neuron says, an affiliate link with Drone FPV Racer would be great. I don't know what that is. What's Drone FPV Racer? Is that this? Oh, this place is overseas. Usually they'll put down here affiliate program. Maybe it's in like a different language. Yeah. So it kind of doesn't look like they have an affiliate program. But yeah, usually it's like the bigger shops that are set up with affiliate programs. So Freeloader says EOS shuts Super Deluxe cam down like 6+ times a stream. Yep, it's not just me, guys. Like, streaming is a total pain in the ass. It sucks. Christopher Blackledge says it was cutting out here and there, the motor, one of them, but when I changed the motors to the 65mm frame, when I arm, it says D-Shot telemetry. Is the flight controller screwed? I don't know. There's an awful lot going on there. Yeah, I don't know. There's like 2 or 3 different things going on there, and none of them really seem to be related at all. So I don't know. I would need a lot more of I would need a lot better of an explanation than what we can do in a live stream to be able to figure that out. Uriel says, I enjoyed your stream again. Awesome. Midnight Jesus says, how do you feel about Acroby? YouTube just did the thing and scrolled me down for no reason, like they always do. Where the hell was I? There it is. Midnight Jesus says, how do you feel about the Acroby 75 versus Air 75? 2 completely different things. Acroby 75 is gigantic and 2S and nuts outside. The Air 75 is the more typical 1S lightweight 75 rig. There's really no comparison. They're 2 totally different things. Ramdago says swap motors to check. To check what? McMucus says, is there a way to use a more durable canopy to protect the board and camera? Broke my canopy and UFL off 6 packs in on my Air 75. Yeah, the Mobula 6 canopy, but then you got to switch the camera and yada yada yada. I'm not gonna go down that road. I'm gonna leave this much like the Air 65 alone. And if you guys want to see what these fly like in their pretty much stock form, I can show it to you on any stream moving forward. But yeah, I'm not going to try to turn this into like a super custom build. I having the receiver external and like, I don't know. I think the 2G4 is the way to go in terms of the totally custom builds. But Midnight Jesus says, you flew 550s with the 75 or 450s? Always 450s. The 550 MAH 1S batteries are way too heavy for just having an extra 100 MAH. I do not recommend them for really anything. Thrash FPV says, Air 75 might be great to Guerrilla Whoop. Yeah, I mean, any of these 1S 75 mil rigs are great for Guerrilla Whooping because they're super light, they're super quiet. So yeah, this I wouldn't say that this would necessarily be any better for Guerrilla Whooping, other than the fact that like you can just buy it and bind to it and fly it, and that's kind of cool. Because then if you lose it, it's like, well, I didn't lose a custom build that I had a bunch of time and effort into. I just lost like whatever these cost. 120 bucks would be my guess. Thrash FPV says, if you ever want some custom music mixing for edits, let me know. Just rebought a DJI setup to mix my flight footage music better. Very cool. I might annoy you about that. Cloudhopper says, do you think those 40mm HQ ultralights would be good on the rewound 36,000 kV motors? Absolutely, because they're lower pitch. And so they would let those, that crazy RPM really wind up. Yeah, they'd probably be the perfect props for those motors, for a super high KV motor like that. Crom says, Drone FPV Racer is one of Europe's biggest FPV store. They do have an affiliate program, but don't know how to set it up. Not sure if there's enough of us to make it worth your time, but it would be nice. If they have an affiliate program, I would love to sign up for it. Aaron Muller says, I have a Mobula 6 and I randomly can't arm, and in the goggles it says RPM filtering, but if I unplug and replug the battery, it will go away until I crash. Is my FC dying? Might be. That's a... Anytime that like there's a problem that goes away when you unplug and replug, like what do you do? It's just like untroubleshootable. So you just have to like ignore it and just keep going. And yeah, so it might be dying, but yeah, that's super stuff like that's super annoying. Thrash FPV with the last comment of the live stream, he says, between streaming and FPV, can you consider yourself a masochist? Pretty much. Yep. You got to be real dumb to do both of those things. Thanks for hanging, friends. Thanks to BetaFPV for sending this over. CiottiFPV.com has a whole bunch of ways that you can support me. Patreon helps me out the most. Please join my Patreon. You'll get a ton of stuff that's well worth $3 a month. If you want to get in on some giveaways, it's only going to cost you $5 a month. Access to a YouTube playlist with all kinds of like Patreon-only live streams, sketchy flying, I don't want to be public, half-done edits, lots of good stuff there. You'll get full access to the Discord, couple of different Facebook groups, and my undying love. And I'll keep doing this and keep telling you what to buy and what not to buy. And if that's not worth $3 or $5 or $10 a month, I don't know what is. If you want to be on like the $5 a month tier so that you're entered to win the Tiny Whoop and Toothpick stuff, but you actually want to donate $10 a month, you can do that. Pick the tier, and then you can custom put in the dollar amount. Work with me on Fiverr. Click my affiliate links. All the good stuff. CiottiFPV.com. I love you. Bye. I'm not ready. Here's the first battery that I flew with it at the Jungle Gym. Where is it? There it is. I'll see you guys on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Bye-bye.
We'll be right back.